Happy Mask Monday! I got this from one of you lovely ladies. I think it might have been Kim. It's a Freeman's mask, but it's a leave-in mask. You just put it on and it soaks in and you're good. Let's see, does it have some kind of seal on it? Nope. Alrighty, it's a blue gel looking stuff. It's supposed to be very hydrating and moisturizing. It's supposed to fit on your face and your neck, but not, around your eyes and hairline. So, I don't usually put a mask on my neck, but since this one soaks in, why not? I have today a tag, and it's an all about me tag I made up because I want you to do it and I want to know all about you. So I'm hoping you will do the tag too. Now, if you do Mask Mondays and you put in your description or title, I think, part of your title, hashtag Mask Monday ladies, all lower caps, all one, all squished together. And if you click on it, or if somebody else clicks on it, it'll take you to the list of everybody that's doing Mask Monday. So that way you don't have to hunt around for it. They're all right there. So if you're doing Mask Monday, add that onto your title so you'll make it easier for people to find you. Alrighty, well, we'll see how this works. Not supposed to have to take it off. Alrighty, last night at 2 in the morning, I couldn't sleep. I've been having a hard time getting to sleep. I'm going to sleep at 2 or 3 in the morning. I went to bed about 3 and I woke up at 10, which is usually I don't wake up that late. So that's 7 hours. That's about what you're supposed to get. But I really need to start backing it up and getting to bed a little earlier. It's crazy staying up that late. I was reading this really good book though, and so I had to finish it. It's one of those, I call them women in danger books. It's a Christian romance type book, but it's like some kind of danger happening. This one was about a policewoman and she was a dog handler and a family friend that she'd always kind of had a crush on, and they ended up working together on this case. He was a U.S. Marshal, and it was about trafficking, human trafficking. So it was like, oh, that stuff's so brutal, and it goes on way more than we know it does. A lot of times it's young teenage girls that aren't happy at home, and they get lured by some creep and they think it's their love of their life, and they go meet them and get snatched up. Anyway, enough of that. Enough sad stuff. Let's do a my all about us tag. And I'm going to tag all of you. I want to know all these things about all of you. So please do this next Monday or whatever you want. But let me know if you're going to do it, so I'll watch for it. So it's called All About Me tag. Where were you born? I was born in Oregon, and we moved around a lot. So I lived in a couple places in Oregon, and I lived all up and down California. I lived in Arizona. I now live in Texas. So kind of all over the West I lived, and a little detour of 4 years in Japan. Are you married? No, I was married for 15 years. And I've been divorced almost 40 years. So, been divorced way longer than I was married. Do you have kids? I have 2 sons and 4 grandkids. I live with 1 son and daughter-in-law and 2, well, at the moment it's 2 grandkids. I've got a granddaughter that's in college, but she's home for the summer. And then my other son lives about 100 miles away. And I don't drive long distances anymore, so I don't see them as often. I'm trying to set up something to have. We used to, of the parents of the kids, my kids, you know, and their spouses and everything. I was the only single person. So everybody else was married couples. So they got like the Christmas and Thanksgivings and Easters and those things. So I said, okay, I want my day. So I picked 4th of July. And for a lot of years, till the kids got more teenagery and it kind of fell apart, we used to get together every 4th of July or around 4th of July, as soon as we, and have a, you know, swim party, barbecue, hang out. And we haven't done that in a few years. Once the kids got to be teenagers, they were working or mission trips or family vacations. It was just hard to get basically 9 adults together in the same spot. So I'm trying to do that this summer, but you know, my son's a firefighter, so he works weird shifts. My other son, you know, works regular shifts, you know, regular days, so he's only off weekends. But then my firefighter son works some weekends. My granddaughter's going on a mission trip for 3 weeks. It's just, you know, my other granddaughters both work part-time, so it's just hard to get everybody together, and I'm hoping I can work it out. We were supposed to get together for my 70th birthday, have like a day like this, like a family day. As that's it. That's all I want is for our 70th birthday present is time with all of y'all together. I am 71 and a half now. That still hasn't happened because of stupid COVID. I mean, it's hard to get us together anyway, and then you throw COVID into the mix, and it's been tough. Alrighty then. That was a long answer for do you have kids? What do you do for a living, or if retired, what did you do? I was a purchasing agent, buyer, whatever. I worked at a telecom company that repaired the big switches, you know, that ran the whole company. And they repaired actual telephones too. I worked there for a long time. I worked at a company that repaired, the first company I worked at, and I just at the very end worked at that company. I was a buyer, but before that I worked in the stock room and shipping and all that. This was way back when. And it was a company that repaired hard drives. Nobody repairs hard drives anymore. They just toss them and get another one. But back in the day, and they were 20 megabyte hard drives, 10 and 20 megabyte hard drives we would repair. Can you imagine how little you can store on nowadays? I mean, your phone's got like 100 times that storage. It's just crazy how stuff in the 20 or so years since I did that job, how much electronics has grown. Last job I had, I was a buyer for a hardware. Bought all the hardware, screws and nuts and bolts and that kind of stuff for a helicopter company. They built helicopters for the Army, so since it was military, there were all these rules and regulations, and since it was aeronautics, you remember when the Challenger blew up and they traced it back to an O-ring? Well, that would be something I would buy. So that shows you how you have to track that stuff to be able to tell each part that went in it and where that part came from, and it was very detailed work. Then I went out on disability and never worked again. But I worked at 3 different companies over most of my career, and I worked at one 10 years, one 7 years, another one about that. And I was very loyal, you know, employee, but I got laid off from all 3. So, you know, they want you to be loyal to them, but there's no loyalty to you. Oh, sorry, I'm getting ready to sneeze. I hate that when you feel like coming and you can't do it. I'm one of those people, it's going away now. One of those people, when I sneeze, I almost always sneeze 3 times. Don't know why, but once I sneeze 3 times. You ever live in another country? Yeah, we talked about that. I lived in Japan for 4 years. Went for about few months to Okinawa, which at the time was still run by the United States. We hadn't given it back to Japan yet. And they used American money, and we drove on our side of the street instead of the other side like they do in Japan. And everybody spoke English, and they didn't want to go back to Japan because the Japanese treated the Okinawans like we treated the blacks back in the, 40s, 30s, back in the way back before things got a little bit better. So they didn't particularly want to go back to Japan because they were treated like second-class citizens. But I'm sure it's different now. It's been 40 years since I was there. I'm old. Let's see. Are your parents still living? No. My mother died when I was 14. And my dad died. If he would have lived a few more hours, he would have died exactly 15 years to the day of when my mother died. So I was 14 when my mother died and 29 when my father died. So very young when I lost my parents. Why did you start a YouTube channel? Well, the grandkids talked me into it. They wanted me to start a cooking channel. I do cooking stuff occasionally because I'm a pretty good cook, and they thought I should have a cooking channel, and they were going to help me do it, and it was going to be a summer project we were going to do together. So I started the YouTube channel with an unboxing Stitch Fix. That was the beginnings. And the kids very quickly bailed on me. They'd lost interest in it. And, my grandson's really good at tech stuff, but I am not. So I don't know anything about editing, or about the most I do for editing is I can cut out something a little bit that's, drop the camera or whatever, some of those kind of things. And I can turn the sound up. That's all I know how to do. So basically what you see is what you get, me rambling. But then I started making you lovely lady friends and wanted to stick with it. So here we are. It's growing slow. It's been a couple years. First, took me a year to get to my first 50 subscribers. And it's been about another year to get to where I am now. So it's growing slow, but that's okay. I love my friends. Do you have siblings? I have one sister. For about 10 years, we were both divorced. We bought a duplex together in the Sacramento, California area. It wasn't in Sacramento, but it was outside of it a little bit. And she had 2 boys and I had 2 boys, and we kind of raised them next door to each other. So we were there to help each other, but we weren't living in the same house because we had different philosophies for raising kids and stuff. We tried living together and that didn't go very well. So we went this route, and that was great. I mean, if you ran out of an egg, you just ran next door. You had their key, you went and got one. If you were going out of town, somebody could watch your dog for you. And for a while, I had to work nights, and so my sister was right there if something happened. So it was great. Favorite vacation spot? I like the beach. I mean, I was a teenager in San Diego, spent a lot of time at the beach, even surfed a little bit, believe it or not. Wasn't very good, but I could get up and stay up for a little bit. We'd have beach parties, and one of my favorite little mini vacations was all my kids and grandkids, and we all got a house on the beach and spent like about a week in a house on the beach. It was a lot of fun, so I like the beach. Dream vacation. I always wanted to go to Ireland. I'm mostly Irish and English, and so I always wanted to go to Ireland. I don't know if I will because, I've got a clotting disorder, so long flights on an airplane is not very good for somebody who easily gets blood clots. So probably not going to take long plane rides ever again. I waited too long, and so that's a warning to all you youngins. Don't wait too long to take your dream vacation, because you get my age, maybe you can't. So start saving money and go take that dream vacation. Oh, I always kind of wanted to go to Hawaii too. That one I might do. You can do it in stages. I could fly to California, spend a day or two doing something, and then fly on to Hawaii. So it wouldn't be as long a flight, but Hawaii is really expensive. I probably, instead of going to Hawaii, I'd go to the Caribbean somewhere, because it's similar, tropical, clear water, snorkeling, all that stuff, but it's not as pricey as Hawaii. Hawaii is really pricey from what I hear. Do you have any phobias? I'm getting better, but I don't like little enclosed places. So I've got a brain tumor. It's just not a bad one. It's just this little one that just kind of sits there at the back of my head and doesn't do anything. But every couple years, it used to be every year, now it's every couple years, I have to get an MRI to make sure it's behaving itself and just not growing or anything. It's benign. It's not a big deal, but I always forget when I go to a new doctor. I forget to tell them about it because it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form other than I got to get an MRI every couple of years. And MRIs are closed in enough, you know, if you're claustrophobic. But then when they MRI your head, they put this cage on like this that's just right in your face. And I have to close my eyes before they get anywhere near me with that cage and not open them because I can't stand something like right up in my face like that. But other than that, I'm not afraid of heights or snakes or spiders or... I'm thinking of that song, I don't like spiders and snakes. But I don't mind spiders and snakes. Okay. Greatest fear. Well, that feeds into the program. My greatest fear is something happening to one of my family. You know, illness or accident or whatever. You're supposed to outlive your family, you know. You're not supposed to have something happen to one of them. Greatest joy, my family. Watching my grandkids grow up. Makes me sad that my mom never got to see my kids or my grandkids or anything. So I'm happy that I get to see my grandkids grow up, and hopefully I'll be around until long enough to see great grandkids. Favorite type of video to film? I asked the question and I still don't know the answer. I guess I like clothing unboxings best, but I like these kind where we talk too. Favorite type of video to watch? Oh geez, I like unboxing. I don't really have a favorite. I like unboxings. I like this kind where I'm finding out more about y'all, so I want y'all to do this one. I like watching Tiffany from Tiffany Wears T-shirts eat weird stuff that people send her to eat. They're always sending her some weird thing to eat, and she's game. She'll eat it. Do you have a hobby? Yeah, I make cards. I used to do scrapbooking, but nobody seemed to care. You know, it was a lot of work for nobody really wanted them, you know, to pass down to them. So I'm just like, I'm not going to go through all that work. So I make cards occasionally. This time I'm going twice, but at least once a year I go on this retreat with other ladies. We go up, it's north of here about 50 miles, 40 miles maybe. And it's a home that's fixed up where it's got a bunch of beds in it. There's no bunk beds, they're all just single beds, and it's got a couple, it used to be a pool house and a garage, and they've both been converted where there's tables to craft on. So I'm going one time with just the family. My granddaughter, her mom, and her other grandma and I are going to go. And then later in the summer, like late July, I'm going with... I used to be a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, which Stampin' Up's a company that sells ink and paper and geegaws and stamps, like wooden stamps or acrylic stamps. They sell both, and the ink pads and all that paper crafting stuff. So I was a demonstrator for that for 10 years. So I sold that, and I had... I'd teach people how to do it, held workshops and all that kind of stuff. So I started us going on this retreat place. I was the one that coordinated it for it's been 12, 13 years ago. And we still go every year, but I stopped coordinating it and quit being the demonstrator a few years back. So I haven't gone with these ladies in a while because I go with the family and I don't want to go twice. But I decided this year to go ahead and go twice. And mainly not to craft, but to see these ladies I haven't seen in a while. Oh, and I crochet a little bit. I'm not very good at it, but I can make hats and blankets, and that's pretty much it. Favorite genre of music? I like Christian worship music and country music and oldies. Because I'm an oldie but a goodie. Are you a reader? If so, what type of books? I am a reader. I read probably a book a day, a book every couple days, depending on the length. Lately I'm on a kick where I found a couple authors in there, like that book I was talking about earlier, Christian romance, suspense type books. But I'll read almost anything that's fiction. I don't like self-help books. Or self-help books, you read them and you're like, oh, that's a really good idea. I should do that. I'm going to change my life. And then you never do it. You never stick with it. So I don't read nonfiction hardly at all, other than stuff about the Bible sometimes. I mostly read fiction. I don't like Westerns very well, unless it's a Western romance kind of one. I like sci-fi a little bit. Science fiction can be fun. Mostly I read some type of romance or adventure, that kind of thing. Like, I'll read those ones about, like apocalypse kind of ones, where like an EMP was dispersed over the United States and we're kicked back to the Stone Age practically because nothing electronic works, and how people had to cope with all of that. Those kind of books. I like those too. So anyway, I like lots of kinds of books, and I do read a lot. One year when I was a shy little kid with not a lot of friends growing up. And one year, I think I was 10 maybe, I decided to read 100 books over the summer. And so that's pretty much what I did all summer, is I just sat curled up somewhere or another and read a book. And I did read 100 books over summer. And what's that, 3 months? So that's 35-ish books a month. So it's about a book a day. Still doing it. Early bird or night owl? I just talked about how I stayed up till 3. I'm definitely a night owl. I've always been a night owl. But for years I was a night owl trapped in a daytime life where I'd have to get up early to go to work. I mean, I'd get up at 5, I'd leave at 5 to go to work. So I would get up earlier than that. So I couldn't stay up till 3 in the morning when I was getting up at 4:30. But I prefer to stay up late and sleep late, which is the opposite of what a lot of older people, they like have dinner at 4, go to bed at 8, and then they're up at like 5, and I'm that total opposite of that. Last one, what is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten? This is dedicated to Tiffany. I can't wait to hear what she thinks is the weirdest thing, because she eats all kinds of weird stuff. I've had rattlesnake. I've had escargot, which is snails. And I've had chocolate-covered cricket. Those are kind of the weirdest things I've ever eaten. This is all soaked in. Feels nice. Don't have to take it off. I brought a wet paper towel to take it off with, but then I read the directions and I'm like, oh, don't have to take it off. Well, I hope you all have a great week. It's Monday. Yay, Mask Monday. I'm so confused. I told you I was supposed to get a Luxury Diva box and I never got it. So I finally called and I checked with UPS and FedEx, or not FedEx, UPS and USPS, and neither one showed it being delivered. They showed it out for delivery, but they never showed it being delivered. And I never got the April Luxury Diva box. So I contacted them and told them, they sent me another box, and I got it on Saturday, and they sent me the March box again. And so I got to thinking back, and it supposedly shipped the last day of March. And I went back and looked, and I got the March box April 6th. So that box that they said was never delivered must have been the March box, and they just haven't even tried to deliver me. I think that I'm somehow on their list, and I got to talk to them about it. I'm on their list to ship to me the last day of the month. So like I don't get the April box until May. So now I have this extra box, and if you watch my Luxury Diva unboxings for March, I didn't like anything in it. I usually like stuff, but this time I didn't. I gave it all away to you guys. I didn't like it. So now here I have it again. So I emailed them and said, I don't want this. Tell me where to send it and I'll send it back. It was the April box I was wanting, and I got to talk to them about, please move me up. I mean, I don't like getting it the next month, because then I've seen everybody else unbox it. Everybody else has seen everybody unbox it. Nobody cares anymore. By the time I get it, it's like halfway into the next month. So I really need them to move my date up, and then this kind of confusion wouldn't happen. So now I'm not sure what's going to happen with that other box. If they tell me to keep it, I'm just going to have a giveaway for whoever wants it, because I don't want it. It's just not me. It's nice stuff. But I had a giveaway to give away the last box, so here I am. I'm going to do it again. I'm not even going to open it. You go back and watch the last one. It had a pashimi shawl in it, some high-waist leggings, some mascara, I think, a couple other things. I think a black, like a cardigan maybe. I don't know, maybe not a cardigan, but anyway, there was nothing I wanted to keep, so I gave it all away to y'all. So I'm hoping they'll take it back and send me the April one, and I'm gonna try and call. I emailed them. I'm gonna try and find a number to call and actually talk to somebody about, can I please get my boxes in actually April, the April box, instead of halfway into May. You know, that's just not working for me. I mean, if I wasn't videotaping, I wouldn't care that it was like a month late, because it would always be a month late and it wouldn't matter. But anyway, I was going to unbox it for you tomorrow, but nope. So I did a Sips By, which is a tea service, and so tomorrow I'm going to do, I have this lemon protein bar I've been wanting to try. So I'm going to do a taste test Tuesday with some of this herb tea, and I'm going to use this cup right here that I got from Alex for Christmas. So I'm going to have my tea, put my little finger out, have my tea and my little protein bar, and my taste test Tuesday. The rest of the week, not sure. I've got my ice cream, which is a makeup subscription, is coming this week. My BoxyCharm should get here pretty soon. My all my makeup stuff should come this week. My Diva Bag by Sonia, all that stuff's still due. Plus, I, of course, still never got the actual April Luxury Diva. And I've broke down and watched other people, and I liked what they got. So that one I was looking forward to. This second March one, not so much. It's been half an hour. I can't believe I just can't believe how much I ramble on. And it surprises me, because a lot of you say you watch my whole video, but yet my watch time averages like 3 to 4 minutes. I don't even get going till 3 to 4 minutes, so I don't know how that works. I'm creeping up there. I'm almost at 400 with this collab we did. I got about 40 new subscribers in a couple weeks, which is great. So last time I looked, I was like 16, 17 away from 400. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. If you already subscribed, thank you. And I hope you all have a great week. Go watch some more Mask Mondays.